The story is about a girl named Kong Mireille who is frequently bullied for her looks, which makes her hate herself so much that she wants to commit suicide. But instead, she gets a plastic surgery all over her face to start a refreshing college life. The story is so beautiful and sweet, it has a nice pace, it's not fast nor too slow. And at the same time it's not forced or rushed at romance scenes. You can see how realistic the story is about Korean beauty standards and how it shows that in college life, not everyone who smiles is your friend. As there are people who will talk about you behind your back, so you shouldn't be too much naive. But at the same time you will find people who care about you. It may be full of sadness or worries, but at the same time you will laugh, have fun and feel the anxiety together. That's what it means to be a university student. This webtoon has a really nice plot about self-confidence, loving yourself and stop judging people by their faces, instead look for inner beauty. A 9 out of 10 for me. Is it worth reading? Yes. Drama-worthy? Yes. The story revolves around Yunai, a poor high schooler, who has diminished her belief in magic, which she had a passion for when she was younger. Under many misfortunes, she wishes to grow faster to become an adult, so she can escape the major stressors and debts which weigh her down. She then meets an adult magician who wants to remain as a so-called child. Under despise and suspicion from the whole community, he aims to claim he is a real magician, asking whoever he meets, "Do you believe in magic?" After being a frequent visitor of the magician's residence, which is at an abandoned amusement park, I's deskmate Na Il-deong, who is an interesting-looking and a well-off student, starts to eavesdrop on her magic lessons with a magician, soon beginning to show a liking towards her and magic tricks. All in all, I's life gradually changes as she becomes a follower of the so-called magician, making herself again a believer in magic and further deciding to follow her dreams in earnest. The unexpected plot twist at the end was really surprising. The art style is stunning and the manhwa is mainly in black and white. The limited use of color gives the story a surreal feel. This webtoon is a must-read for everyone. It'll make you ponder and reflect on socio-economic problems and urge you to pursue your dreams. A 9 out of 10 for me. Is it worth reading? Yes. Drama-worthy? Yes. The story centers around a high schooler named Woo Yeon, who isn't special in anything. Her mother always put her siblings before her and her opinions are usually ignored at home. Due to this, she doesn't express her feelings and grew a low self-esteem. One day, a good-looking man on the street asks her to pose as a model for a group of people. The man is Sunho and the group are members of sketch club, Spirit Fingers. Woo Yeon poses on the street for them, but, unlike her, the members are full of individuality and seem to get along well. This leads Woo Yeon to join Spirit Fingers. The members encourage and compliment her, which causes her self-esteem to grow. Meanwhile, the so-called Cooper is a high school student and the same age as the female lead. He has an attractive appearance and models for internet shopping malls as a part-time jobs. Due to Woo Yeon, he begins to think about his future as a model seriously. I really enjoyed this one, so fluffy, hilarious and wholesome at the same time. The character development of all characters was awesome. It gives out a really positive message about one's appearance and body, encouraging to do what you like and feel confident about. A 9.3 out of 10 for me. Is it worth reading? Yes. Drama-worthy? Yes. The story revolves around a girl named Yuri who can see the ghosts for some reason. She tries to avoid them as much as she can. She finds it hard to maintain a balance between her powers and her urge to help when she sees one in distress. She moves into a new house whose previous owner was Junko, a ghost. He died in the house and is stuck there for past 3 years. First Yuri avoids him and outright rejects him just to not involve herself with him. But slowly she starts understanding him and herself and they become housemates in real sense, ultimately developing feelings for each other. Guys, this is one of the saddest, or I should say, bittersweet webtoons I've ever read. I still remember crying on some episodes 5 years ago. It's a wonderful and beautiful story and I loved everything about it. Even if you're not into this sort of genre, I still recommend you giving it a read. It's worth every emotion. A 9.6 out of 10 for me. Is it worth reading? Yes. Drama-worthy? No. It is a collection of horror stories. Each story is by a different author and artist. This one is also very interesting. Rather than being scary, I think of it more as just creepy or eerie. There are 23 short stories with each episode usually being its own or the occasional two-parter. Sometimes you'll get jump scares and other times it'll make you ponder on the meaning of the story. Many of them are more psychological horror than supernatural, or combine both to make it more thrilling. Others are like mysteries that the reader tries to bring meaning to. Again, since this webtoon is by various artists, there are many different art style and writing used. It was a nice read overall. An 8.7 out of 10 for me. Is it worth reading? Yes. Drama-worthy? No. The plot revolves around first-hand ghost stories from the ghosts themselves. Each story is broken into at least 4 parts so the reader can get into it. These tales showcase the worst of humanity. The first episode starts with a few ghosts sitting around a table, discussing how terrible humans are. One spirit begins to tell a story that is more terrifying than any ghost. The series is completed, it has a unique concept. So if marathoning a series sounds interesting, this is an excellent webtoon to start. A 9.5 out of 10 for me. Is it worth reading? Yes. Drama worthy? No. It revolves around the male lead, who is a CEO of a mattress company and also a sleep demon who hasn't been able to sleep for 600 years. Female-led is a new employee at the company and also the only one who can make him fall asleep. Despite keeping strict professional boundaries, they end up having feelings for each other. It's a decent webtoon, no drama, no love triangle and a pretty art style. It shows how the female lead helps the CEO return to his world. Even though the ending might seem incomplete, it's not as bad as everyone thinks. An 8.1 out of 10 for me. Is it worth reading? Yes. Drama worthy? No. It's about a high school girl named Ember, who is known for her hot temperature and personality because she was ensnared by a curse. In order to break the curse, she must seek out a male whose name is associated with cold water. That's when the soft-spoken boy Aspen enters the scene, also entangled in the curse because he and his father ventured into a sacred ice cave. The chemistry between Aspen and Ember was adorable. Also there were just minimal love triangles in this webtoon. Yes, attempts were made by characters like Rocky and Moxie to come between the couple. But Ember and Aspen remained unaffected by their schemes. Throughout the storyline, I found myself laughing a lot, although there were moments that left me feeling stressed, but that was just a part of the story. This webtoon offers a decent amount of comedy, romance, and indeed, frustration. All in all, it was a refreshing read, and I would definitely recommend it. An 8.9 out of 10 for me. Is it worth reading? Yes. Drama worthy? No. It's about a girl named Rary who hears about her boyfriend's death and she is devastated by that news. She decides to kill herself, but first she wants to complete a bucket list that she wrote with her boyfriend. Around this time, she happens to meet Hansel, an aspiring singer, but he suffers from stage fright. These two people decide to help each other. Rary helps Hansel make his stage fright go away, and he helps her to complete her bucket list. Such a wholesome webtoon. The plot was not very complicated but really well-paced and emotional. I loved the characters. They were strong and their presence was bold. An 8.9 out of 10 for me. Is it worth reading? Yes. Drama worthy? Yes. It's basically about a high school student named Myongji. She has the ability to move forward in time. One day she receives a recording of a video explaining the powers and how others have similar powers. The video then explains that the person who can obtain all powers becomes the strongest and the best. At first she chooses not to do anything, but after having her life on the line she teams up to put a stop to those who have powers and to live. The plot is interesting but I wish it was longer. The ending was super rushed. I was hoping for an explanation of how the powers came to be and more in-depth usage of the powers or else, some spin-offs. Overall it was an enjoyable read. And I'd definitely recommend it. An 8.5 out of 10 for me. Is it worth reading? Yes. Drama worthy? No.